What's up everyone, thanks for checking out today's episode of Eurofed In-Depth. We have a car behind us that I'm very excited to feature. Our good friend Mo is bringing it out to us today. Thanks so much for bringing it by. This is one of the first G80s in Atlanta that's gotten this extensive worth of mods, and we're really excited to showcase it for all of you guys on our channel. But before we start today's episode, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow us on Eurofed on Instagram and TikTok to stay up to date on everything Eurofed. And if you haven't already, go visit our website, eurofedautomotive.com, to shop merch, schedule service, and learn more about our company. Now, let's dive in. Awesome, Mo. So let's start about talking about the car, man. Like you were mentioning to me earlier, this car has barely been with you because you just got it and you went straight into all the mods. But share a little bit about why this car, because this is what, your third or fourth German vehicle now, and you kind of stepped away from your last car, which was an RS3, which we'll talk about a little bit too.
Yeah, I mean, you know, in looking at this when they dropped it, you never know what it's going to look like when they first, you know, hit the streets, because you see the press photos and everything like that. And, you know, it dropped in this color with the orange, and it really kind of caught my eye.
Yeah.
And I wanted something different.
It's very different.
I've got a good friend that works at Global BMW, Master Tech over there, Greg Jackson. A really good friend of mine hooked me up with Travis, who was amazing. And you know, we started to work through what it would look like to order one of these, because as you know, a lot of you guys know, it's really hard to get a G80 or a G82 right now.
Or G83.
Or G83 if you want a convertible, right?
Yeah.
But you know, Greg hooked me up with Travis, hooked me up with the GM. We talked, and within a couple of days, they had an allocation. I placed an order exactly the way that I wanted it. And you know, 4 months later, smooth and easy. You know, it couldn't have been a better process. And you know, I went down to the Performance Center delivery area in South Carolina and picked it up.
What'd you get to do down there? I've actually never been. So I've been to PEC, where like the Porsche delivery with you know some friends that picked up cars there, but I've never been to the delivery center. And it's in South Carolina, right?
It is. It's in Greer, over by Clemson. And the greatest thing about it is I've done a Corvette delivery.
Yeah.
And that was cool. This was like a whole nother level.
They have like a museum and everything over there.
Yeah, I get to see where they build all the X1s, X2, X3s, etc. For the whole world. And then you get to go on a driving course.
Nice.
So they take you fresh off of the flight or you know your trip, and they put you inside of an M4 or an M3, whatever you bought, and they take you around the slalom, and they say, here are the keys, go have fun and be a race car driver for awesome. Half a day.
Yeah, it's good. You get to put the car through the paces and not worry about breaking your own car.
Not only that, but they gave the keys to my significant other, and she took it around the track and did the braking and stuff.
I'm sure she had a blast with that.
Absolutely. I mean, we couldn't have had a better time. Top notch, took care of us, meal, flight, everything. It was fantastic.
Awesome. So package-wise, this is a G82.
It is.
A G82 M4 competition.
That's right. X-Drive.
X-Drive. Okay.
Yes.
So I'm trying to learn all the names of what the new models are called here. Man, it's every year it's just added one more thing to the model, one more thing to the model. But all in all, you ended up with a very nice looking G82 M4 competition. And tell us, like, with the competition package, why you went with this color. Actually, what is this color called? And then a little bit about the interior package too as well.
Yeah. So it's Isle of Man Green. That's the shade. And you know, when I looked at all the boxes on the order sheet, I just said I'm going to check them all. And I'm just gonna, if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it right. Right? I got the carbon ceramics, I got the carbon buckets, I went with the full carbon fiber package, roof, etc., interior mirrors. I wanted the best that this car had to offer.
Yeah.
And thus far, I'll be real honest with you, it's only got 355 miles on it right now. So I haven't really explored all of it. But I mean, a lot of people have reviewed this car, and it's gonna do what it needs to do.
So is it safe to say you have the lowest modified M4 at the moment?
Probably.
I mean, we touched this car with 100 miles on it, I think.
I might even need a little less. Because
Yeah.
it got trailered from Greer back here because I didn't want to, you know, get it all chipped up. So
that's awesome. So right before we got it though, you did get paint protection on it.
Absolutely.
So you got the front end PPF, the roof, and then you said the boot too as well.
Yeah. So Dynamic Auto Spa, my friend Mike over there went and took care of. He always takes care of all my cars. Took care of the whole front, top, and back.
Nice.
And then I then brought it to my friend Nelson, who did the tinted windows because you can't ride with. Fishbowl, right? So you know, I don't need everybody seeing it, especially in Atlanta. You know, I don't want anything to happen. And then ultimately went to my friend Kevin, the detailer, who ceramic coated the entire car afterwards. And then I you guys blessed it and took care of the rest.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, we got the car, you know, again, brand new, and right away, I mean, we had it for about a week, I think, and everything got done in about a week. And let's start with the body kit. I mean, you did a nice lip kit, full carbon. And who's this by, and is there a certain model of this lip kit, or is this just like the only package that they offer?
So the actual lip kit right here, front, side skirts, and rear winglets are all basically M Performance.
Okay.
I don't want to say knockoff because Auto Techniques is much higher quality.
Yeah.
But it is basically a version of the M Performance. The actual spoiler itself, though, is M Performance.
And I actually saw them drill into this car when they were mounting it, and I was standing from afar looking at it, like, damn, man, that is great. Like, you know, right, that's commitment. You can't go back from there.
You trade wings at this point.
It's mounted in the middle of the trunk. But I think it came out great. You know, I really like the aggressiveness to the kit, and it complements the lines. It kind of swoops out a little bit, and then the spoiler, man, it matches the body lines perfectly.
It is my favorite modification thus far. Looking in the rearview mirror and seeing that spoiler out there, it's just really super aggressive. Love it.
Yeah, no, I think it looks great. And all the weave matches too, which is a very big thing. I don't know if a lot of you guys have ever noticed this or not, but when you guys buy carbon fiber stuff, please make sure the weave matches. We all notice it. We may not tell you, but we notice it. Perfect. So up next, we ended up cutting off the entire midsection, and you have the Active AUTOWERKES mid pipe.
That's right, Active AUTOWERKS mid pipe. Wanted something, and I've got the actual X pipe instead of the single one.
Yeah.
Wanted something a little more growl and deep.
So this deletes the secondary cats.
That's right.
And then it has one X where the first resonator is, and then another X in the rear, right?
I believe that's right.
Okay, yeah, well, I mean, I've heard it, and it sounds great. I've only heard PSI compared to this too as well, but the Active AUTOWERKES exhaust really amplifies that stock, like, growl. I know there was a huge debate on the F80s that they're like, oh, they just sound raspy. There's nothing really you could do unless you went like a full, like a full Akropovich exhaust or something like that. But just with this mid pipe, and you're still on that M Performance stock muffler, it sounds amazing. It sounds really good. You know, at the low speeds, it's got that kind of growl that everyone wants, but when you're getting on it, it's, you know, you get the pops, you get the burbles, it sounds great. And the car's not tuned. Not yet. So tell us a little bit about that, because I know you're trying to work right now to see if you can do something with it, but unfortunately there's not really much out in the market.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest with you. I mean, I've owned a lot of fast cars. I've had Vipers, Hellcats, Z06s. You guys built for me a beautiful Stage 3 RS3.
Yeah, and that was built by Jacob Shores. Shout out to Jacob. He did that. It was an RF Blue RS3 that we did a full Stage 3 kit along with the turbo, and it was pretty fast.
Yeah, so I'm dying right now because I know that once I start to get on it after I'm done with my break-in period, it's going to feel a little slow to me.
Yeah.
So I'm feverishly looking for tuning options that I don't have to send my ECU out to Russia, and you know, with everything that's going on. So soon, though, we got to jump into it.
Well, you know us. If we find something, if we find a solution before you do, you know, we'll reach out to you and we'll get this thing tuned ASAP. But all that power is being put down to some BC wheels wrapped in some Pilot Sport 4S's. Tell us a little bit about the new wheels, because I saw them off the car, and this is the first time I'm seeing them on the car, and it's a very bold color combination, but it matches the vibe of this car perfectly.
Yeah, this is my 6th or 7th set of BC Forge wheels. Dan at BC Forge always takes care of me for all my cars, and I ordered the car in November, and it took me about a month and a half to figure out what kind of wheels I wanted.
Yeah.
And so, you know, just talking it over, again, my significant other and I were looking at these different colors, and, you know, she said, well, I kind of like this and I kind of like that. She knows I love gold. She knows I love bronze. She said, just do it. And so, you know, we picked out a gloss bronze.
I'm glad she told you that.
Right?
Yeah.
She's right more often than I am, for sure. So we went with a gloss bronze face, brushed black barrels, and then gold hardware just to match the carbon ceramics and the green overall. I thought it was a nice touch.
The gold matches the Eurofed sticker.
Absolutely. Always got to have that on there.
Yeah,
it's a good touch.
All of us that work here have the placement right here. So this is like this is the proper placement. If anyone's wondering where to put your Eurofed sticker, which you can get online at eurofedonroad.com. I had to get the plug in there. So up next, we'll go into the interior. I know there's not much done to it, but the interior is badass. I mean, it's probably one of the nicest interiors. I'm a fan of Audi interiors, but this is the only other interior on a car that I'm like, wow, this stands out, and this definitely speaks numbers to me.
Yeah, the key here is I wanted something that I didn't have to do a ton with.
Yeah.
So I've got the interior carbon fiber package, got the carbon buckets, which if you are ordering a Jeep platform car and you have the option to get buckets, get them. They are absolutely the best seat that exists right now, in my opinion. And I've sat in Porsche buckets and you know, Corvette bucket. These seats are amazing.
Yeah, I've only had a chance to experience like a bucket seat on a long trip, and that kind of shied me away from it. But I had a chance to ride on one of these cars at the track in this actual seat, and it's comfortable, it hugs you, and it's very livable, like day to day. It's not like some of those other real hard buckets. But I actually found this out the other day that was really cool, and I know we talked about that, but the middle insert actually pops out of these carbon bucket seats, so that way you can run a harness from underneath. And I think that's really cool that, you know, M Performance is wanting more people to get, you know, involved in their cars into motorsports, and, you know, they're kind of getting these small little perks and features on these cars to allow you to take to the track right out the box. And I really like that. And then I think the only thing that you have else done on the interior is the M Performance carbon sill right here, which honestly I didn't even know lit up, and that's awesome. It's pretty fucking cool, not gonna lie.
If it's not green on the car, I want it to be carbon fiber, and that was my goal.
Okay. Other than the orange on the interior, I'm assuming.
That's right. Absolutely.
Perfect. How do you feel about the infotainment and everything on this?
I'm gonna be honest with you, I consider myself a techie.
Yeah.
You know, I worked for a tech company for many, many years, and I'm still learning the car.
Really?
I really am, and there are still some things that I'm frustrated, and I actually did something I thought I'd never do, and I pulled out the manual for the car because I knew that it could do something, and I couldn't figure out how to do it, and I was frustrated. The car has, you know, it literally drives itself like a Tesla. So you can put it in a mode, and it'll actually drive on the highway for you, adjust speed, etc.
That's dope. And then you always, like the previous generation cars, you do have the paddles for the M modes on it. How do you feel compared to like the dynamic modes and like the individual system on like an Audi? Or, you know, the Porsche may not have had it at the time, but you know, from the Audi to this, which one do you prefer?
So the RS3 was an amazing straight line competitor.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you a time I lost a race, and at the track it was feverishly fast.
Yeah.
But it was a little bloated, and unfortunately, you know, a little bit all over the place. And coming from a Z06 and a 911 that I had, the handling is what I missed. This thing on the track when I was at the Performance Center was phenomenal. We actually, when we got out of the car after doing our slalom and doing a couple of different tests there, the race car driver, his name escapes me, he took me for a ride, and when I tell you it was like a Michelin commercial, he drifted the car around at 80 throughout the whole track.
That's the score that you got on the screen?
I wish that way I could always pull it up and show people. But I mean, the handling on this is just so tight and precise, and the different modes that it actually has, you can feel the car stiffen up, and you can feel it get planted, and the steering is just awesome.
That's great. I mean, that's great to hear. I mean, again, these cars are only getting faster. They need to handle just as much, if not better, than what they used to. And we also helped with the handling a little bit. This is sitting on KW springs, I believe, or KW coils?
KW has kit adjustable springs.
Adjustable springs, and then you get to keep the actual damping control with these springs, right?
Yep.
Okay, and that's cool. So as far as like this over stock ride quality, what's the main difference here?
See, the thing about it is I really went from 0 to what you see.
Yeah.
So like I have no basis. That's
okay,
it.
No, fair enough. But,
So for me, it feels great.
But if this were to come out of the box exactly how this is.
Oh, 2 thumbs up. I mean, I think it handles better than my Z06 did. And it's much more controllable because of the all-wheel drive.
Yeah.
So I have more fun. It's more comparable to the 911, which is an iconic car that you know, lives up to its hype. This is really close.
Yeah, and you got a chance to spend a lot of time with the 911, so I do take that with, you know, more than a grain of salt. And I mean, other than that, I mean, it's pretty much everything else came with the car. Yeah, everything pretty much else came with the car. You still have the stock mufflers and everything in the back.
Absolutely.
Still the stock suitcase. And then what else is planned for this car other than the tune?
It's got to be faster.
Yeah.
I need 200 more wheel horsepower.
200.
And then once I get that,
that should be easy on this platform, honestly.
It really actually, they're already doing it right now, just not here.
Yeah.
So I think with some full bolt-ons, we'll see how it does. But that's really the only thing that's planned for it, is just some more speed.
And then we have the inventory intake coming on soon.
I do. I've got that sitting in the garage. I wish we had it here for this shoot, but it's gonna get put on real soon.
But we'll definitely pop the hood, and you know, if you haven't seen it already, we'll definitely include some B-roll of the hood, because I'm sure it looks just as amazing on the inside of there as it does on the inside of the car. But other than that, I mean, there's not much else to do than to thank you for coming out. Thank you for choosing Eurofed. I mean, we're on car number 2 that we're building for you.
Absolutely.
And, you know, we've got to work with a bunch of partners that, you know, we'll link them down in the description below. We're getting to be a part of this build that's one of the first here in Atlanta. And, you know, you have not stopped to make sure everyone knows that you're doing this, and I think that's great because I like when people are proud of their work and like when people kind of showcase what they drive and what they spend so much time to personalize behind what they drive. And I think you're doing a great job, and I think everything is coming together very nicely, and I can't wait to see you hit that 200 power mark at this point.
No, it's really been great. You know, I build relationships, that's what I do. And in the car community, that's really important. And so a couple of years ago when I bought my RS3, and it was time to figure out, because I have had a lot of high horsepower American cars. So, you know, I've got particular dealers and folks that I work with on that. And so I said, well, now I've got, you know, something European. I went and looked at a lot of shops locally that, you know, some of the names I'm sure you're thinking of in your head right now on the channel. And, you know, I met Darko, and I met some of the folks that work with Darko, and I instantly made a connection, and you guys have been fantastic with helping me build, you know, all of the different platforms that I bring to you.
I really appreciate you saying that. And I'm sure Mickey and Darko will watch this and, you know, reach their thanks out to you as well. And other than that, I mean, I think it's time for us to cue some music in the background. Appreciate you coming out with us. The car is beautiful. We'll get some more shots of this included at the end. But again, guys, thanks so much for watching today's episode. We hope you like the content on this G80. We should have more of it soon. Like Mo said, we got a little bit more planned for this car. Be sure to follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Eurofed. You can stay up to date on builds like this and a lot more. Like, comment, and subscribe. Head over to Eurofed Automotive to do everything Eurofed. And without further ado, we'll see you on the next one.
Oh,